So my name is Tomas Bivittt. I'm a translator, a bard, and I teach English here in Russia, and I'm from Scotland. So I first came to Russia around 7 years ago. I was invited to perform at a festival in Moscow, Urozhai Festival, Harvest Festival, and this was my first ever experience of Russia, and I was very excited and I wanted to come back as soon as I could. So this festival was very successful in Moscow, and Boris Petrov from Yekaterinburg, who is the president of the Ural Scottish Society, wanted to invite me to play at his Ural Scottish Festival here. So this was how I came to Yekaterinburg the first time. I just flew from Moscow for one night and performed in the Philharmonia. And I have been coming back to Yekaterinburg every year since, every year in January. So the main difference between the audiences here in Russia and at home in Scotland, I find that Russian audiences are very focused, and I think this is true generally, that Russians really respect art and culture. And so if they have made the effort to come to a concert or a festival, they're going to really pay attention and really try to understand what's going on. Over the years I was translating Wysocki, but very slowly and taking my time and not trying to run before I could walk, as we say in English. I suppose my favorite text of Wysocki would be Ochota na Volkov. It's so strong and so angry and direct, and it touches on some deep themes that are interesting for everyone.
With all the strength that bursts from our sinews, it's the same old story again. When you see them, there's something within you, makes you cluster like sheep to a pen. From the forest, the guns start to rumble. From bushes, where hunters lie low, close scratch ice as wolves rush and tumble, living targets with nowhere to go. Who'll come a-hunting for the wolf? Who'll come a-hunting? Who'll shoot and be a man? Some cub or suckling dam, as the beaters wave, the slavering hounds confront him. Blood on the snow and rows of fluttering scarlet flags.
So I have been working at the Russian Academy of Sciences since the end of January. I'm working, well, I think my job title is something like senior researcher, but really I'm working with the PhD students, with the aspiranti, as you call them, because they have to publish scientific papers in the English language, and I'm a very experienced editor of academic texts and also a translator. So I'm helping them mainly with their English language, how to write a good scientific paper. That's the essence of my work. I think that there's a lot of intellectual and creative freedom in the Russian education system. I think that's good. And I'm very impressed by the quality of the students that I'm working with. I think they're very. I was ready to find that there was a low level here in Russia, but I'm very impressed by the level, especially because they are able to work both in Russian and in English. So my father and my two sons will be coming from Scotland to Yekaterinburg this July. And there are some things which I'm very much looking forward to showing them. One is to show them the Russian Academy of Science and the laboratories there, because maybe these are not super modern facilities, but I'm very impressed by the enthusiasm of the researchers there, and they're working in some interesting areas, and they're very excited to explain the meaning of their work, and I know that my family will be very pleased and interested. I also want to take my family to experience the Russian village. I also want to take them to see really the beautiful nature here in the Urals. So I have already been on an excursion to Park Олени Ручьи, and this was for me one of the most beautiful excursions in nature that I have ever experienced. Very, very clean air and beautiful scenery, and also I think it will be very necessary to take them to see the Russian ballet. I think the standard in Russia is obviously much higher than elsewhere in Europe, and I think in Yekaterinburg especially, okay, it's maybe not the Bolshoi Theater, but it's really very high standard, and I think they will be very excited. I very much like sailed podsheboy, herring under beetroot. This is like just such an interesting combination of textures and flavors. I eat pelmeni a lot, maybe too much. It's very convenient. I like the word замечательно, which to me is something like out of a dream. It's amazing. It's like something out of a dream. Yes. Репетировать. Yes. Репетировать. That's a good word as well. Because it describes exactly what you do, and I think and also this Russian phrase "что делать." I like the way that Russians are quite existential. They're always like "как быть, что делать," and this answer to "что делать." If you are musicians, the answer to "что делать" is репетировать. Well, I can tell about my first experience at the public banya here in Yekaterinburg. I went with my director, but she's a female, so she went to the different part, and she just said to some guy who was standing there with a towel, a visitor to the banya, can you take my foreign friend to the banya? So I went, and for me it's just such a different experience. Like I just didn't understand. There were so many different small rituals which I didn't know what they were, and I just had to ask this stranger, что делать, как быть. And for me, this was just an extraordinary cultural experience. I think there is so much. There is so much in banya, in Russian banya, that we just don't understand, we Westerners. And I think maybe after I have been in Russia for some years, maybe I will start to understand some of these mysteries. Well, the biggest difference for me between Russians and let's say British, in Britain, especially in England, we tend to smile a lot, but we don't necessarily, the person that we are smiling at, we're not necessarily very friendly towards them, but and we also say sorry a lot. Sorry. And here, Russians very rarely smile, and they never say sorry. And it's been very good for me to live here because I have cured myself of the habit of saying sorry. I never say sorry anymore, and I think I never will. Here, a smile is much more natural, and if somebody smiles at you, then they really are friendly. But you shouldn't expect somebody to be friendly for no reason, because they won't be.
Зачем нам творить себе разных кумиров? Кого из нас это могло бы спасти? Дела, чьи угодны Создателю мира, дорогу любви кто к вершине мастил. Когда пролетают и тысячелетия, чьи подвиги сердце извечно хранит, того, кто и в смуту, и в лихолетия за веру и правду стоял, как гранит. О, нет, убитый не должен дракон разлетиться, как тысяча птиц. Стой, стой, с ним будь осторожен, каким обернется из множества лиц. Но в мире спасенном короткая память присуща беспечной глумливой толпе. Куда и зачем гордо нес свое знамя герой, что когда-то исчез в темноте? И в прошлом, и в нынешнем бурном столетии наперстки летают под носом зевак. Трактовка истории, правда бессмертная, как шарик катается в ловких руках. О, нет, убитый не должен дракон разлетиться, как тысяча птиц. Стой, стой, с ним будь осторожен, каким обернется из множества лиц. Героя судьба быть завидна не может, сражен ли ударом лихого меча, или под ухмылки царя и вельможей на плахе казнен был рукой палача. И вновь, как и прежде, звучит вражье слово, впадают в нас реки из грязи и лжи. Георгий, вернись, ты так нужен нам снова. Дракон тобой битый внезапно ожил. О, нет, убитый не должен дракон разлетиться, как тысяча птиц. Стой, стой, с ним будь осторожен, каким обернется из множества лиц, скажем. О, нет, убитый не должен дракон разлетиться, как тысяча птиц. Стой, стой, с ним будь осторожен, каким обернется из множества лиц.